as a Muslim woman, as a Muslim woman, as a Muslim woman.
Ms. Berry, you are the executive director of the Arab American Institute. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
Okay. And according to your website, you're also, I'm going to quote here, a longtime Democratic Party activist who served as a member of the 2016 Democratic National Convention's Platform Standing Committee, close quote. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
This is the full exchange between Senator Kennedy of Louisiana and Maya Berry, the executive director from the Arab American Institute. I am not a fan of this Kennedy and have a hard time just listening to him speak. But this is an exchange I think everyone should listen to.
You support Hamas, do you not?
Senator, oddly enough, I'm going to say thank you for that question because it demonstrates the purpose of our hearing today in a very effective way.
Let's start first with a yes or no.
Hamas is a foreign terrorist organization that I do not support, but you asking the executive director of the Arab American Institute that question very much puts the focus on the issue of hate in our country.
Well, I got your answer, and I appreciate it. What is the, you support Hezbollah too, don't you?
This just makes my blood start to simmer. How can a senator of the United States ask such a racist question? He is being blatantly racist. So, just because she is an Arab American, that means she is a terrorist. This is what he and many in the country think. Being Arab makes you a terrorist. It is disgusting. Unfortunately, there is much more.
Again, I find this line of questioning extraordinarily disappointing, Senator.
No?
That you have Arab American constituents that you represent in your great state.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that, but my time's limited, and I apologize, but is that a yes or a no?
Yes or no question to do I support Hezbollah? The answer is I don't support violence, whether it's Hezbollah, Hamas, or any other entity that invokes it.
You can't bring yourself to say no, can you?
No.
I am a nonviolent person, but this just makes me want to kick him in the knee.
I can say no. I can say yes.
But
what I can say is your line of questioning.
Do you support or oppose Iran and their hatred of Jews?
Again, I'm going to emphasize Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, none of them is going to this discussion.
You can't bring yourself to say no, can
sir,
you?
I don't support.
It's real simple.
Excuse me. I'm going to, if I may, as a Muslim woman, sir, I'm going to tell you I do not support Iran. But what I will tell you is that this conversation.
I'm running out of time. I'm sorry.
I am proud of Maya Berry here. She shows a lot of patience with this racist man. I am sure she has had a lot of practice dealing with this kind of person.
You called our decision to cut funding. You called our decision to cut fund. Well, first, what's the United Nations Relief and Works Agency?
It's UNRWA, which is the institution that exists to provide services and aid to the nearly 6 million Palestinian refugees.
And you called our decision to cut funding for them, quote, an incredible moral failure, close quote.
Which it is. We gave Israel the bombs to decimate a whole group of people, but won't provide aid for the ones who are innocent and now have nowhere to live, because we helped bomb their schools, hospitals, and apartment buildings. There is nowhere for them to go. But they are Arab, so they are all terrorists. That
is absolutely correct. But again, I would suggest that conversation is about foreign policy.
We did that because 9 UNRWA staff members were fired for actually helping Hamas on October 7th. Isn't that the case?
I don't believe that that's correct in terms of...
Let me ask you one more time. You support Hamas, don't you? You support UNRWA and Hamas, don't you?
Sir, please. I think it's exceptionally disappointing that you're looking at an Arab American witness before you and saying you support Hamas.
You know what's disappointing to me?
I do not support Hamas. I do not support Hamas.
You don't support UNRWA. You don't support Hamas. You don't.
I was very clear in my support for UNRWA.
Hezbollah, and you don't support Iran. You should hide your head in a bag.
This is a vile human being right here. I cannot believe he just said that. What the actual frick? Sadly, there are people in his state and around the country that love what he is doing here, even cheering this kind of hate and racism on. This makes me sick.
Your time has expired. Please. Please, please, Ms. Berry, I'm going to allow you to respond to any one or all of those questions at this point.
Senator Durbin, thank you very much for holding this hearing and for elevating the issue of hate crime. It's regrettable that as I sit here, have experienced the very issue that we're attempting to deal with today. The introduction of foreign policy is not how we keep Arab Americans or Jewish Americans or Muslim Americans or Black people or Asian Americans, anybody safe. This has been regrettably a real disappointment, but very much an indication of the danger to our democratic institutions that we're in now. And I deeply regret that, and I do hope that my testimony today has been helpful to understanding the need to respond to hate.
There is not much left to say here. I feel dirty after listening to this. How can a man like this be a leader in this country? Since Trump has entered the political scene, all these racists in the United States feel emboldened to speak their hate because they see they can get away with it. I feel shame for our country.